Hi, Steve Barnes here. We're just doing this morning thing where I'm seeing what is the best way for me to communicate with people. I honestly don't know, but I'm trying to understand how I can be of the greatest service during the time that I have to live on this planet. So today, um, I wanted to talk about I wanted to keep going over the Think and Grow Rich principles, and I wanted to take a look at how they're developing because each of them seems to me to be stacked. They're based upon mastering the previous ones, and because today procrastination is a subject that I'm going to have to get into with my family. I wanted to take a look and see how it relates to that. So, how the first principles relate to that. So, start with a principle that procrastination is perfectionism masquerading as quality control. And perfectionism then is the feeling that it has to be perfect before you do it, which according to one teacher, is the lowest possible standard because it's not possible to be perfect. So, what it actually is avoidance of engagement. Procrastination is both a cause of problems and a symptom of underlying fear and lack of clarity. If you have to do something that takes, let's say, a day, and you have 10 days to do it, it takes no more time to do it, regardless of when you start. But the longer you wait, the more stress you're likely to feel. Looking back over your life, if you like the results, let's say that this is your pattern. If you like the result of waiting until the last minute, then go right ahead, keep doing it. And you say, okay, this is just the way I function. But if you notice that you stress out and then rush through the product at 3 o'clock in the morning, turning in sloppy work or just panicking and freezing altogether because you're exhausted and terrified, you need to fix that. It is stealing your excellence. It is stealing your life. The mental quality influencing procrastination is lack of clarity on what precisely to do. The emotional quality of fear, resistance, and lack of positive reasons to act are usually what's going on here because remember, we're always motivated by the twin drives of fear and love. Positive, negative, and positive. The longer you wait, the greater the fear you're going to feel. Now, some people need this to happen until they overcome the resistance. And this can be like gunning the engine of your car until you overcome the resistance of your brakes rather than taking the brakes off. You also want to look at what you are doing to avoid the work. Are you doing other useful work? In other words, I have 3 projects. Instead of working on project A, I'm working on project B. Once again, that might be a strategy that actually works for you. But you have to actually look and ask yourself, what is the result of this? Are you doing something useful, or are you watching television, playing video games, reading fluff? Even reading serious work in a totally unrelated field can be a waste of time. How about researching endlessly when you need to be working? Only looking at your patterns and comparing them to the patterns of the top people in your field can you make a judgment. Are you getting it done? Getting it done with the minimum stress and maximum joy. That should be your goal. The magic formula demands daily action, and that action has to be appropriate, such that you get the work done on time, on schedule, and preferably deliver more than you are paid for. That is how you leverage yourself into a position where you can demand more money, by the way. Or if they don't give you more money, where you can have the confidence to take your skills where they will be appreciated. To know what actions are efficient and effective, remember the 3 gates, be useful. You have to have a map or model, right? Think and Grow Rich is a wonderful pattern to examine. I've never met anyone who had the first 5 basics locked down, who wasn't kicking butt in their field. I mean, seriously. You don't have to have all 13 principles. Just the first few will do a tremendous amount. So start principle 1, desire. Do you know what you want and why you want it? 2, faith. Do you believe that your actions will reduce pain and increase pleasure? Your results? Do you believe that the results are positive and that you can have them? Auto-suggestion. This is related to the second. If you don't have that confidence, you need to take a look and see whether or not your goals and the actions that would be required to reach them are in alignment with your sense of who you are and what is true about the world. If your beliefs self-image and emotions are all aligned, and you have faith that you can accomplish your desire, you'll jump out of bed every morning to get to work. If you aren't jumping, know that you have internal resistance, either a lack of clarity on the pleasure that you're going to experience if you do this, or the pain if you don't, or you have a lot of negative emotions. I feel it's wrong to make money, or I'll be at risk if I lose weight, or I will, let's see, if I am in love, I'll just be hurt. The negative emotions will also stop you. If you're not jumping out of bed to do it, know that you have some negative emotions, negative beliefs, and it's time to get in there and start moving them around. The morning ritual, fire dance, is precisely our approach to programming the human biocomputer with the software that's in alignment with your goal. So once again, you use the capacity to take effective action as a measure of what's happening inside you. If you're not where you need to be, then this tells you what to work on with a therapist or journaling or whatever. I mean, it's the work. And not only that, but in the process of overcoming whatever resistance you have, you will learn things that are useful to other people. In other words, the obstacle can become the offering. Whatever it is that you're dealing with, if you can figure out how to whip it, you have just learned something you can sell. It's really just as simple as that. The fifth principle is imagination. Now, imagination is the ability to leverage the previous steps. Can you see that? Take a moment and see if you can line it up. Pause this if necessary, and think about how those first steps, desire, faith, autosuggestion, and specialized knowledge, and contribute to the state where imagination becomes the most important thing. Okay, so let's take a look at that. Do you have a desire, a definite chief aim? That's one. Do you have faith that you can do this, learn this, be this, have this, do this? Great. Do you have the internal beliefs and emotions that support this so that these actions and results are organically you? Great. Are you constantly learning in your chosen field, studying it every day for, let's say, an hour, aimed at gaining the equivalent of at least an AA degree in the subject? If you really want to succeed, get a doctorate in that subject in terms of your studying. I don't mean go to college. I mean put in the same number of hours. Maybe college, depending on what it is that you need to learn. But directed study of the specific things you need to shine in your particular field. You need to figure that you're going to do more of that. You're going to work harder than other people, because you want it more. If you've taken the previous steps, you're flooding your conscious and unconscious minds with the data it needs to create plans to accomplish your goal. Many of these plans will be inefficient or ineffective. Look, it's taken me decades to gain the level of focus that I have, and I still need a lot more focus. I had so much damage to overcome, so much fear to overcome, but I kept hammering at it because I was afraid to fail. To me, the cost of failure was death. The risks of success were also death because of some cultural things and family things. So my psychology was formed by those things, and it just took me decades to work through it. And if you'll listen to this, you can compress the decades that it took me into days that it'll take you. Double down on what works. You should be constantly testing your ideas every day. And then you simply have to keep track of what works and what doesn't work. You journal this stuff. Double down on what works, prune away what doesn't. And if you do this daily, you will outperform someone smarter than you who only tests once a month. The imagination is just the synthetic dreaming capacity where ideas bounce up against each other. And what part of the brain called the reticular activating mechanism, sensitized by daily affirmations and goal declaration, sorts through the thousands of different combinations to say, try this one, try that one. You can tap into this imaginative capacity by, as you are falling asleep, asking your mind to come up with an answer to a problem. After a while, your brain will start producing answers by the time you wake up. They won't all be good answers, but if you try the best of them, you're on your way. If you have desire, know what you want and why you want to do something, have faith that you can do it, and a plan to accomplish it based on specialized knowledge. If you get caught up in the fun of coming up with creative ideas, there will be no procrastination. And If you have procrastination, you know that one of these previous steps has not been handled. So you can actually, the procrastination, if you're honest about it, can actually help you understand yourself. What are you postponing? What is it that you don't do? And then look into why. At what point are you blocked? This, once you make a commitment to this process, there is no end to the ways that you could use it. All you have to do is be honest with yourself that you want it. Have faith. Look into your beliefs, values, and emotions, and ask yourself, how did I learn the things that I believe that I know about myself? Gain the specialized knowledge. Constantly, every day, be researching the thing that you want to do and how people who are more successful than you have done it. Preferably look at the very best people in your field. And trust your imagination. If you've taken these previous 4 steps, you should be coming up with ideas because you're motivated and educated. And now you just look at all the crazy ideas you can come up with and see which ones make sense. Try them out. Constantly be testing. Be a scientist about this. Anyway, like I said, procrastination was on the table today for various reasons, and I'm grateful to have been able to share this with you. Take care. Have a wonderful day. Bye bye.